Last night, we got the full leak specifications of the much anticipated Sony a7R V, or did we? Details coming up, but first I encourage you to subscribe and choose all notifications so you're kept informed on the latest camera gear, news, and rumors. Photo Rumors and Digicami-Info posted rumors of the Sony a7R V last night, but according to Andrea at Sony Alpha Rumors, I got this a week ago and I didn't post it because it was from a new source. Now the same source is spreading the specs to forums and other rumor sites, so I'm going to post it with a warning that these are not from a reliable source, and because it's strange that this source doesn't mention a couple of things that I know for sure. But then Andrea left us hanging there. Okay, I kept looking over the post, I kept looking over the site. What did I miss? What does he know for sure? So I composed an email, sent it off to Andrea to ask him, well, what is it that you know for sure? Why don't you think this is real? Why can't we trust this information? There are 3 reasons why it's unlikely that this is an accurate spec list. Number 1, it's coming from an unknown source. Number 2, we've never gotten such a detailed list of Sony specifications for any camera ever. And number 3, the a7R V is going to be announced this fall. Unlikely to have a spec list this early before an announcement. It's not that the information is in question so much as that we're getting this from a new source that isn't trusted, and to get such a detailed list of specifications from a Sony camera ever? Yeah, I've never seen that. We've never gotten anything so detailed. Sony is unlike Canon or Nikon, and Canon's marketing department actively leaks information to stir up the rumors, to get more interest in the camera so that their name is trending all the time. Sony doesn't do that. They keep the information very close to their chest. And when we start to see leaked images of cameras or detailed specifications, as we did with the Panasonic GH6, it happens almost imminently before a release, at least a week to 5 weeks before a camera is due to come out. Not many, many months. And Andrea's, like many rumor sites, including myself, we don't like to put information out there unless we know the source, unless we know where it's coming from. And then, even if it's from an unknown source, but it's gaining a lot of traction, we'll cover it, but we'll state that this is not to be trusted. It's coming from an unknown source. Look at the information and enjoy it, but I wouldn't really trust this information. That's what he's saying. And I can agree with a lot of what Andreas is saying. We've never gotten anything so detailed like this. We don't get detailed leak specifications this far away from an announcement, unless, of course, Andreas is wrong and we're going to be getting an announcement of the Sony a7R V within the next couple of months. And we are getting a lot of camera announcements right now. The Fujifilm X-H2S, along with a couple of lenses, is due to be announced at the Fujifilm X Summit on May the 31st. Then on May the 24th, according to Canon Rumors, we're getting several lenses in kit form and by themselves, along with the much anticipated successor to the 7D Mark II, the Canon EOS R7, and of course, the Canon EOS R10, which is supposed to be a replacement for the M50. So we're getting a lot of cameras getting to be announced, and usually May is a big time. This is when Photokina used to happen. So May is a big time for getting camera announcements, as is February, as is January. So could we be getting an announcement? Well, not according to Andreas. He's standing by that the Sony a7R V is supposed to be coming in the fall, and that's why it's really weird to get such a detailed list of specifications. Andreas goes further. It's not that the information is in question so much as the source and the way the information is conveyed. Okay, so the information is untrusted and it's unlikely to come this early before an announcement, but on the other hand, yeah, it looks pretty good. I would personally myself give it the 80-20 rule. I did find a few things a little bit odd. I thought the machine translation of the sensor was a little bit off because it didn't mention anything about a BSI or stacked sensor. And what Sony camera today, at this price level, at this professional grade level, is not going to have a BSI stacked sensor. Even Canon's making their own BSI stacked sensors. The Canon EOS R3, Nikon's doing it, the Nikon Z9. So to not have that, to have that left out, I thought was a little strange, but I thought it was due to the machine translation from Japanese. What can we expect out of these specifications? Well, again, I would take it as an 80-20 rule. The incremental updates, the sensor, again, I think it's going to be BSI stacked. And I do think that Sony's going to push a little bit higher than 61 megapixels. A couple of months ago, I had Andreas on this channel. I did an interview and I asked him about what he thought the sensor size might be on the Sony a7R V, and he indicated that, well, he can't confirm it yet because he hasn't validated the information. He certainly thinks that heading up towards 100 megapixels is certainly not unrealistic, and it's certainly within the realm of reason. And one of the reasons why we know this is within the realm of reason is Sony has a 102 megapixel sensor. Canon also has a sensor right around that 100 to 102 megapixels as well. And there are many rumors talking about both companies coming out with a 100 megapixel camera. These cameras are really designed for a very small portion of the market. And I stand by what I said in my previous video early this morning that I released, talking about the 61 megapixel sensor. If Sony does increase the bandwidth, improve dynamic range, low light performance, color, and detail, then I think that even at 61 megapixels, it can provide us a much better experience than the older camera. The Canon EOS R5 that I'm shooting with right now has a 45 megapixel sensor. And I gotta tell you, once I start to push in after a certain amount of cropping, well, the detail starts to fall off. You start to get that noise. It just doesn't look as good. And for most of us, when we are cropping in with a camera like the R5, we're not gonna be putting up on a huge billboard. We're just going to be looking at it on our phones, our televisions, or our computers. And once you crop in, while you do get more noise from a larger pixel sensor, once you crop in, you go back the other way. You start to reduce that noise. It's like taking a picture of a battery or anything, a photo, putting it in a photocopier, enlarging it. Well, it's always going to look worse. And the opposite is true. Taking something and reducing it in size is going to make it look cleaner, better, and more detailed. So, what are the specifications that we expect to see? Well, Andreas did say that, yes, absolutely 8K video. And on a camera with a sensor size like this, yes. Anything above $2,000, especially $2,500, you can definitely expect to see 8K. It is no longer, wow, 8K, that's impressive. I wonder if I'll ever need to shoot that. It's now a requirement in cameras. I shoot in 8K all the time now. I'd say 30% of my work. Whenever I'm doing product reviews, whether it's a battery, a lens, or anything else, I shoot in 8K, and then what that allows me to do in post is create various effects. So I can do pans, I can do zooms, I can do all sorts of stuff without having to set up a motorized slider. And I love that flexibility that the 8K gives me. My son's channel, we shoot all in 8K video, and the detail is spectacular, especially on somebody that young with the most perfect skin complexion. Nail the exposure right, the f-stop, wow, it's just absolutely stunning. Even when you watch it on a 4K television, you can just see the level of detail, and it's truly amazing. So definitely 8K, definitely 4K, definitely 4K 120. Will we see 9.6K oversampled 8K or even 4K? I don't know, but we definitely will see oversampled 4K and 8K. Just to what level and what degree? Definitely improvements in the autofocus system. Definitely dual card slots. CF Express Type A, definitely not B. And of course, UHS 2 cards as well. The Wi-Fi, Bluetooth information looks solid. Being able to track with animal eye, human eye, bird eye detection, definitely. Subject detection, torso detection, vehicle detection. Sadly, no boat and UFO detection. And somebody did mention that the glare off the ocean or the lake or any sort of water could deter from that. But I'm not going to go with that. I'm sorry, I just don't see that. Eye detection can be a really huge challenge, especially when you're 10 feet away, which is close to the distance I'm away from the Canon EOS R5. I step back a little bit more and it just can't accurately nail the autofocus. And look at my eyes. They're not wide open. It's just a very narrow slit there where it can see my eyeball. And I think that we can get eye detection to work. There's no reason why we can't get boat detection to work. And I get it. Many of the boats on waterways, they come in different sizes and shapes. But if we have an option to set it to boat detection or vehicle detection, like we can in most modern cameras, I've got a selection for vehicle, animals, humans. Why not have one for boats? I'm just saying. And of course, UFO detection. There's a lot in the news about UFOs lately. Why don't we just have UFO detection so we can stop getting those blurry images or pulsing images of UFOs? What do you think? Anyhow, let me know what you think of these specifications in the comments down below. I've seen an awful lot of comments from the previous video that I put out this morning. And some of you are very excited by this. It looks very good. It's a very solid incrementation. With others are going like, no way, this is terrible. I'm going to switch. And while we don't know the date and the price of this camera, we do know, according to Sony Alpha Rumors, according to Andreas, that it's supposed to be coming this fall. So that likely means from the second week of September all the way up to the end of October. And I'm gonna go ahead and say September the 14th. I haven't even looked at a calendar. It could be a weekend. If you want to know the actual date and the price or the actual leak specifications once they come out, go ahead and subscribe and choose all notifications. By choosing all notifications, as soon as I publish a video, you're going to get notified so you're in the know on the latest camera news and rumors. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.